بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Just give me 1 second to try to sort out these audio issues, and then we'll start inshallah. Okay, so we are continuing with our classes today, inshallah. Yesterday,
We had picked up where we left off. Um, Tonight, inshallah, is going to be the 27th night of Ramadan.
It's one of the odd nights we should look for Laylatul Qadr, the night of all, and we should work towards making full use of the night that comes, inshallah.
To continue with quite the practice, inshallah, after a little bit of a late start, I know. So we will try to move along, inshallah, in a steady way. Yesterday we had done practice with Fatha. We we started with the short vowel Fatha, and we applied those letters with the vowel Fatha. Today we're trying to introduce another of the short vowels, which is Kasra. So we're going to see the appearance of a short diagonal stroke on top of the letter for Fatha, giving an A sound. So Ba and A gives Ba, and E, and the appearance of a short diagonal stroke below the letter, right, giving the sound of E. Ba and E gives B. And our skill in being able to recite the Quran is figuring out what sound the letter should have based on the vowel that is currently taken. So, looking at the first example, we have three letters. The first letter is the letter Sin, sound gives Sa. Right, so that's the very first letter. The next bit, we have the letter Kho. This is the letter Kho, and the Kho has a kasra, so it's an E sound. So Kho and E gives Khi. So Sa, then Khi. Sa, Khi. Okay, so that's here, Sa, Khi. And lastly, we have a raw, and a raw with an fatha, or an A sound. So raw and A is still raw. And so we end up being able to recite this word as saying Sa, Khi, Ra. Sa, Khi, Ra. Okay? So this word ends up becoming Sa, Khi, Ra. We combine the individual sounds of the letters with the vowels that they are taken, and we get Sakhira. Is everyone asking me? Sakhira. So, next one, we have wow and the A sound gives wa, raw and the A sound gives raw, off and the E sound gives P. Wa, raw, P. Wa, raw, P. Again, wa, raw, P. Okay, moving on. We have next Ba and A sound is ba. Qaf and an E sound is ki. Ya and an A sound is ya. Ba, ti, ya. One more time. Ba, ki, ya. Then next we have Mim with an A sound gives ma. Lam with the E sound gives li. Kaf with the E sound gives ki. Ma, li, ki. Continuing, we have Ain with an A sound gives a. Lam with an E sound gives li. Mim with an A sound gives ma. Alima. And lastly, we have Aleph with an E sound gives E. Ra with an A sound gives Ra. Mim with an A sound gives ma. E, Ra, ma. Let's recite. Sakhira, Bakiya, Maliki, Alima, Irama. We recite the second line and then we will come to the conclusion for the back today. We have Sheen with an E sound gives she. Ya with an A sound gives ya. Ta with an A sound gives ta. She, ya, ta. Again, she, ya, ta. Next one. Ba, ri, ko. Bariko. Continue. Kho, si, ro. Kho, si, ro. Next one. Shi, ya, i. Shi, ya, i. Next one. Ya, li, ja. Ya, li, ja. And lastly, ha, bi, po. Ha, bi, po. Love. After me. Kiyata, bariko, khosiro, shiyai, yalija, habito. Okay, good. So inshallah tomorrow we will pick up with the last of the short vowels, which is including Dhamma. So we'll have done words that have all three of the vowels within them, inshallah. Let's move on to our Quran session. So we just had the last line to recite in Surah Al-Bayyinah. Surah Al-Bayyinah has been our longest surah thus far, but it's very important for us when we are thinking about surahs not to worry about the length, but to take every single verse one at a time, right? That even if something is as long as Surah Baqarah, if you take reading it and reciting it one at a time, then you will be steady and you will definitely complete it. Okay? So as always, when we begin a surah, we should recite the ta'awuz and the tasmiyah. The ta'awuz, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, and the tasmiyah, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So let's get started, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. جزاؤهم عند ربهم جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه ذلك لمن خشي ربه Recite from the top. جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه. So it's Al-Bayyinah, which is the 92nd surah of the Quran. Inshallah, tomorrow, which is our last act for the month of Ramadan, we will do Surah Al-Qadr. Surah Al-Qadr, which is very relevant to our times. Surah Al-Qadr talks about the night of power. The night of power that we will be trying to seek in this month of Ramadan, and tonight as well, inshallah, which is an odd night. Okay. To get started today's session, tonight is the 27th night of the month of Ramadan. So it's another of the odd nights. Now, what I should say, consider the 27th night to be the night of power. And so a lot of people, they would dedicate, a lot more ibadah to the 27th night rather than the odd night. However, this is a little bit of a misunderstanding of people's part, in that, there was a time and a narration that talks about the 27th night being the night of power for that time. All right. The best understanding to have is that the night of power can be any of the odd nights, whether it's a 27th night or any of the odd nights. Allahu A'lam is the one who knows best, and so make that decision. And so we, a little Qadr, rather, we should think to ourselves that it can be any of the odd nights, and that we should look for the night of power in all of them, inshallah. Okay? So what to do is we will try to go through a couple more. We are currently on number 4. I'll try to get up to about number 8 today, inshallah. And then, inshallah, tomorrow we will finish off this quiz. Okay? So, in our quiz on the Sahaba, radiallahu ta'ala anhum, may Allah be pleased with them, we had looked towards the first picture being Abu Bakr. We had looked at the second picture we had looked towards Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Then the third picture, which we talked about yesterday, was Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who we said was the possessor of the two lights. He was the one who had been married to two of the daughters of Prophet seeing here. It's a picture of a minaret, and if we truly remember, a minaret is a place where the adhan is called, right? And who was the first person to call the adhan? That person was Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Right, so number 4 is referring to Bilal. Bilal was the first person to call the adhan, right? And Bilal himself, he was from Ethiopia, right? Was from that African subcontinent. And he was the first person to call the adhan. And if you remember as well, we had discussed in one of our sessions before that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went on the night journey to the Jerusalem and then to the heavens, it was Bilal's footsteps that he heard in Jannah. And afterwards, when he asked Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, what is it that he's doing that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was able to hear his footsteps in Jannah, he was saying that all that he does is that he is always in the state of wudu. Right? So he's always in the state of wudu. Okay? So this one is Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the first person to call the adhan. Next, number 5, what we are seeing here is a handful of dirt or a handful of sand. And this here is referring to clearly some form of digging, right? So there's a handful of dirt, a handful of sand. And there was a battle in Islam which is called the Battle of the Trench, where the Muslims themselves built a trench so that they could defend where they were against those people who are attacking them. Right? So if you imagine that you are here and there are enemies coming in towards you, right? They're coming in towards you. If you build a trench around where you are, essentially you are digging a hole, right? So you have the ground and you dig a channel which is a bit deep, right? So people, whenever they're trying to come, they will have to go down and then come back up, right? So a trench looks like this. So people have to go down and then come back up, okay? So it's very difficult for someone to cross, a trench in battle, because if you are trying to cross the trench and someone shoots arrows at you, right, then you're going to be shot. So it was a very good defensive strategy, that the Muslims had. However, this was not a very common tactic among the Arabians, right? And that's because the person who suggested the idea of the trench was Salman al-Farsi. Salman al-Farsi. Why called al-Farsi? Well, al-Farsi in Arabic means Persian. So he was Salman, who was from Persia. And this was a tactic that they used in Persia. Okay? Great, next. Number 6. Number 6 is showing a lot of books. So clearly, number 6 is referring to one of the Sahaba, one of the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was very, very knowledgeable. And there were many of them, right? There were many of them. But the one that really comes to mind is someone who is called Abdullah ibn Abbas. Abdullah ibn Abbas. Who Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions was among the most knowledgeable in terms of Quran. Right, he was among the most knowledgeable of the Sahaba. In fact, when you are listening to the khutbah in Jum'ah, you might hear the Imam say, Allahumma gfirli Abbas wa waladihi. Right? It is because um, in Abbas he asked for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make dua. Right? And so you're saying, oh, Allahumma gfirli Abbas, or Allah have mercy upon Abbas, who wa waladihi, and his son. So Abdullah ibn Abbas was the son of Abbas. Right? There's a very high status in terms of being of the Sahaba. Okay? So Abdullah ibn Abbas here. Number seven. Number seven is a bow and arrow. Right? A bow and arrow. And there were many companions who used to shoot arrows. Remember, many things were sunnahs. There are sunnahs to participate in. Archery is one of them. Right? And in terms of archery itself, it's a very, very good sport for people to get involved in, people to practice in. And there was a companion who was very, very good at archery, and he was named Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. Right, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. See if I can fit it in here. Seems not. So I'll just write it on top here. So Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas was very unique as a Sahaba. Obviously, there's a saying here that he was very good at archery, but even as a leader, especially in terms of war, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas was among the greatest in terms of the Muslim leaders. Now, we had mentioned a little bit that Umar radiallahu anhu, Umar, who was the second leader of the Muslims after of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, it was under Umar radiallahu anhu that Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas he conquered Persia and Rome. And Persia and Rome were huge empires at the time. Right? They were huge empires. And, Islam was small at the beginning. The people of Arabia, Allah had sent Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they were lost. They were doing all sorts of things. They were people that nobody wanted to do anything with because they were savages, right? And Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, just think about the fact that at the time of the second leader after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas was able to conquer two empires. It just shows the greatness of not only the companions but also the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had brought up Islam from and had raised the honor of the people of Arabia through Islam. Okay? Last thing I will do for today is number 8. And number 8 is a companion who we're seeing here, a pen and the Quran. So we talked about the fact that it was under the time of Uthman, the leadership of Uthman, that the Quran was written in a book form, right? The book form that we have today. Before that, it was written on tablets. Verses were written on tablets or on different kinds of parchment. It was all over. It wasn't a compiled book form. But because of the death of many of the Hufaz, people who memorized the Quran in different wars, and because of the fact that there's a need to make it easy for people to have the Quran, right? Uthman radiallahu anhu, he compiled everything in the book form. And the person that he appointed to do that compilation was called Zaid ibn Thabit, right? Zaid ibn Thabit, okay? He was called the noble scribe, right? So he was the one who was appointed to get all of the parchments, to get all of the tablets, right, that had words of the Quran on them, and to compile the Quran into a book form under the supervision of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Okay? So, you know, there are many excellences about the Sahabas, the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, we haven't even mentioned the fact that some of these companions, especially, Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Uthman radiallahu ta'ala, Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, you know, they were people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be going into Jannah. Now you can imagine that there are narrations that says that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, right, Umar radiallahu ta'ala is in Jannah, Umar is in Jannah, Uthman is in Jannah, Abu Bakr is in Jannah, right? You know, and you're thinking about how great that is, how great of an honor that is. We can't imagine that. If someone told you, right, to your face that you are going to go into Jannah, right? We don't know that, but just imagine that while they were alive, while these people were alive, they were promised Jannah, right? They were people who were promised Jannah. So how high of a status would they have had in sight of Allah? How high of a status would they have had as the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is why we are told, right, by the Prophet Muhammad, by the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that his companions are like stars, right, shining brightly. If you follow any of them, then you will be rightly guided. So we should always look to live and model our lives after these great individuals, right? Because these are people who attain true success. There are different, celebrities, there are different public figures that people, take as role models, and they may have, you know, be able to play a sport well, they have a lot of money, or, a lot of different things. But have any of them gained the true success? Had any of them been promised Jannah while they were alive on earth? And the answer is no. All right, that's something which is unmatched. Those companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are unmatched individuals. No one is greater than them, besides the prophets that have came. So we should work towards being, the best Muslims that we can be, and learning from the lives of these companions. Right? We could speak for hours on end about every single one of these. There's just a compilation about the companions. Let's first learn what their names are. Then after that, let's learn what is great about them, what their stories were, what their characteristics were. There were companions of very different ways, just like we have people that are very different. The companions who were very wealthy and showed us how to be successful in spending our wealth. There were companions who were poor but showed us how to be successful in spite of that. There were companions who were very knowledgeable and showed how to be successful if Allah's blessed you with that knowledge. There were companions who were very strong and showed us how to be successful if you're strong, right? And there were companions who were, like Uthman radiallahu ta'ala, who was shy and very modest, and showed us how to be successful if we're like that. There were companions like Umar radiallahu ta'ala, who was very outgoing and very forceful and showed us how to be successful like that. So no matter the way that we are and the way that we find ourselves, we can always take example from the lives of the Sahaba and work towards, you know, taking after their own success. Because if we follow in their footsteps, we are following in the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and whoever follows in that such footsteps, without a doubt, they will be successful, inshallah. So that's all there for today. We will bring an end to our session. And the final reminder, tonight, inshallah, is 27 nights. So we should look towards doing as many extra good deeds as we can. Um, we only have a couple nights of the month of Ramadan left. So we should work towards making full use of it, not letting any of it go by, because the time that we have in this month of Ramadan We're never going to get it back. That's how time is. So let's make full use of it. Let's make it in such a way that we will meet our good rewards with Allah and we will be surprised, inshallah. So we'll bring it an end to our session today. As for classes next week, I think that's still to be determined. There's a couple of, a busy period for us at Masjid in terms of, our live streams and setting up for, our Eve stream and things like that. But inshallah, from next week, we'll have some more announcements of that and some decisions on that, inshallah. Okay, so Jazakallah khairan for those of you who have tuned in. We will continue tomorrow, inshallah, for final session in the month of Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.